Okay, this is an obscure one. Anyone remember Kraze Club? Kraze Club was a magazine that I used to collect back in 2004, 2005, 2006 time. Like, I must have been about 8 years old, and this was just my favourite magazine to collect. So, I bought about 20 issues of the magazine from some guy on eBay, and a lot of them have like been drawn on and are not in the best quality, but I think they're good enough to go through for some videos. I mean, each one of these is like a cool time capsule of what life was like back in this era. Yeah, see, look, April 2008, issue 49, WrestleMania, just a lot of issues, which we probably will get through in a load of videos if there's interest, if people want to see it. But the most interesting thing about Kraze Club magazine is that it didn't always start off being this size. Initially, the reason I first started collecting this magazine was because it started off being tiny. Like, if I would compare this to, say, I don't know, a copy of Pokemon, the first movie on VHS, you can see it's basically the same size. So it's not that big at all. So initially they did start off being very small, and then over time they just changed to a bigger and more standard magazine size, presumably so that they could actually be seen on the shelves. But I really liked how small they were because they seemed extra portable, and you could just kind of take them away with you wherever you wanted to go. So, this is the earliest issue I have. If you can see there, this is issue 6. Which, yeah, I don't have issue 1 or any of the early issues, but let's have a look. This is from December 2004. And on the front cover, we can see that it's got some Ed, Edd n Eddy stuff. This was around the time when Yu-Gi-Oh! Was super duper popular. Popular to the point that they had rip-offs. This show, I believe, was called Duel Masters. And they're advertising Incredibles. I think that's Wayne Rooney. I'm not massively into football. And obviously Goku. So here we go. So yeah, there was a lot of advertisements in these. Just seeing all the old advertisements just brings back so many memories to me. Like, here we go, Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster. Not a film I've seen, but I think it was in that same kind of era as Cyber Chase. And here are all the editors of the magazine. This was 20 years ago, so we can, I guess, assume that all these people are now dead. Here we go, some contents. Okay, and then, yeah, every month they would do a bit of a calendar. So all the interesting stuff that's going on that month, usually just celebrity birthdays and things like The Incredibles being in cinemas on 26th of November back in 2004. Who else? I don't even recognise most of these celebrities anymore. Like, obviously, Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson, P. Diddy, Prince Charles, King Charles now. He was 64 back then, so what is he now, like 200? Brittany Murphy, Nick Lanch. I don't know any of these people anymore. No, Red Hot Chili Peppers frontman, was that big with kids back then? World Kindness Day. Okay, moving on. Just hoodies. Just apparently the celeb style this month was hoodies. If you want a hoodie, buy one. I mean, were hoodies not that big of a thing back then? Why were hoodies noteworthy if they got their own page? And then again, there's just so many advertisements in this for stuff that I used to have as a kid. For example, here, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2, Bush Rescue. This was a game that this Christmas I got, and I never could get past the second level where you're in a big mech boss battle. Yeah, there it is. So, what else do we have? We've got Robo Sapien. This is 100% class. So what is this? This is just saying Trend Central. So these are all the trends going on this month, which was back in, what, November 2004. So, Robo Sapien, that is very cool. We all remember that. 67 reprogrammable functions. We've got Beyblades. They're still going now. I don't remember what these calls are. Queeze. I've never heard of Queeze. Thunderbirds. Back when Thunderbirds was relevant. Then we've got some Star Wars toys. This was back when the Star Wars... the prequels were coming out. And then we've got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So this was back when he was still wrestling, it seems. Moving on, we've got just... This is the kind of part where we're looking at celebs. Again, most of these celebrities, I have no idea who they are anymore. Sure, we've got Vin Diesel, Beyonce. We heard reports that new James Bond has been found. And it's not Eric Bana or Orlando Bloom. Insiders say the movie honchos love Doug Reese Scott and think he's like a young Sean Connery. Watch this space. That is obviously not what came to fruition. It was Daniel Craig. Okay, and then obviously here is a load of stuff on The Incredibles. And then there's a SpongeBob quiz, your SpongeBob IQ. Pooh Eye, so brilliant. This is back when magazines used to have some class. They'd have a whole page just talking about poo. So let's read this. Why does it smell? So if you're wondering, poop smells because of a bacteria that grows in your intestines to break down your food. As the bacteria digests food, it produces smelly sulfur-rich gas, which also makes your parps smell gross. This is kind of the information that we needed back then. Why is it brown? What is poo made of? Why is bird poo white? Why is there corn in poo? Have you noticed that corn kernels come out in your poop? What's that about? Well, it's because our bodies kind of can't digest the cellulose that the outer shell of corn kernels are made of. So now you know. Thank you very much, Kraze Club. So yeah, there was like another actually magazine which I used to read around the same time called Toxic Magazine, which was very similar, but I would say focused more in on the gross aspects. Like the one thing I remember from Toxic Magazine was it had a whole 2-page spread based purely on how to bottle your own farts. And it had step-by-step instructions where you get an old jam jar, you clean it out, you then have a bath, make sure you've got a fart brewing, and then you fart into the bath, and then get the jar and close it in over the bubble, seal it, and then it was like, and now you've got your fart stored. How was that allowed? Okay, yeah, this is still, like, not classy, but at least it had some education. So here we go, Halloween. So I'm guessing maybe this came out in October. So it says December on the front, and it says November as the calendar. So I'm guessing maybe it came out kind of mid-October. So this is all looking at Halloween. We've got just a load of Cartoon Network characters like Dee Dee, Dexter, the Ed, Edd n Eddy, Powerpuff Girls, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. It's just a load of shows that I used to watch. And I think this just gives a bit of history on Halloween. Like, why do we go trick-or-treating? People think that this tradition began with the 9th century European custom called souling. So it's educational as well. Not just, it's better than just bottling your farts. Here we go, stuff on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Championships. I was a massive Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan back then. And then it's advertising to the championships and also the new booster packs. And then there's Duel Masters, which I think it's just a straight up rip off of it. It was just like people saw how popular Yu-Gi-Oh! Was. So they just went, we'll just create the same exact thing. Then we've got Dragon Ball Z. Again, a lot of stuff about anime. Back when was anime that popular back then? And then Animation Station stuff on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I think there's questions that people can write in and ask. So did anime make Yu-Gi-Oh? What does that even mean? Here in Britain, the word anime describes Japanese animation, which usually originates from the manga, which is Japanese comic strip. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is an anime as it originally originated from manga and was drawn by Japanese animators. Hope that's cleared up. So they're just explaining that kid's a moron. So here we have play on game reviews. So yeah, this was always my favourite because it would tell me all about the games. And some of these games are actually some of my very favourites. Like Pikmin 2. This is great, a great game, rated 5 bananas out of 5. This is actually the one Pikmin game that I've never completed. I got it on when it first came out on Wii, not GameCube, and it was so, like, I was a kid and terrified of my Pikmin dying, so it kind of stressed me out too much to go that far into the game. Hot Wheels Stunt Track Racer, the Game Boy Advance, back when this was popular. Pokemon Fire Red Leaf Green, a game that I completed Leaf Green for the first time about 2 months ago. Because I always had Sapphire back when I was a kid and never had Leaf Green or Fire Red. Why have I only given it 3 out of 5? That's mental. How do they give that 3 out of 5, but they give Hot Wheels Stunt Track Challenge 4 out of 5? Crash Twinsanity, that got 4 out of 5. I don't know if that deserves it, but that is, for a long time back then, this was my favourite game of all time. I love this game so much. Yeah, because you get to play as Crash Bandicoot and Cortex. Oh, so good. Even though it was like really rushed and just, from a game standpoint, not very good, very buggy. And then here we go, tips and tricks. What possibly were the tips and tricks for Pokemon? Just if you want to trade Pokemon, previous Pokemon games, trade them. Brilliant. So then there's codes for Day of Reckoning, for Wrestling, Tale of Symphonia, Final Fantasy 11. Okay, and then here are the websites. Right, so these are all websites which are definitely lost media now. What do we have? NASA Space Plane, Animal Planet, Smelly Science, Scooby-Doo.co.uk. Bet it doesn't look like that anymore. Then what is this? Welcome to the Clubhouse. It's your favourite section of a magazine. Come inside Clubbers. Let's find out what's in here. So here we go. We've got a competition for a load of Incredibles merch. Incredibles joke book. I think I did have the novelisation of this. This was back in a time when I used to get the novelisation of films that I was excited for because they'd come out just before the film and ruined so many films that way. Like the SpongeBob film, I knew the plot because I read it all about a month before. So there's the PlayStation 2 game. Got some pens, some backpacks, some bedding. You look pretty cool if you have that bedding now. Okay, so here's all the drawn stuff. These kids are actually pretty good drawers. Okay, so we've got some freaky food. So this is definitely the Halloween issue then. Okay. So yeah, it's showing you how to make all Halloween food. And guess what? So, okay, just facts. So there are twice as many kangaroos in Australia as there are people. Cool. The longest word in the English language, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, is pneumomicroscopiscolonisis or something. So then, here we go. Experts panel. It's official. We've gone crazy for donuts. This month, our experts make like Homer and tasted mountains of donut treats to find the winner. So these are literally just kids saying, I tried Marks and Spencer's raspberry jam donuts. Tesco Large King. Sainsbury's American Style. Krispy Kreme. My favourite was actually the Marks and Spencer's one. I would, yeah, those were the best. And here we go. We got new films coming out, like Garfield the movie, Mulan 2, Tooth. Now this, yeah, I remember this film. This film was terrifying. So what was it? It was like a film about the Tooth Fairy, but there was also this rabbit in it, who I remember was terrifying. It's like some Donnie Darko style nightmare fuel. And we got TV shows, Brandy and Mr. Whiskers. I never actually saw that show. I remember it looked quite funny though. My Parents Are Aliens, of course, I've seen so much of that as a kid. I'm sure pretty much every kid has seen just infinite episodes of My Parents Are Aliens. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Fungus for Bogeyman, Atomic Betty. Not too sure about these shows. What else we got? Oh, okay, just a whole 2-page spread on Brandy and Mr. Whiskers. I always thought it was a lot older than 2004. Back on Toon Disney. Yeah. Toon Disney hasn't been existed for a long, long time. That was mostly where I'd watch Recess and Lloyd in Space. Here we go, Barnacle. We don't have Barnacle anymore. Artemis Fowl. Remember we had to read all those in school. Did like those books. Here we go, Ghoul Gags. Why do mummies have trouble keeping friends? They're so wrapped up in themselves. That's great. A hot seat. So, can you believe it? Our favourite mate in the world dropped in for a chat, and here's what he had to say. So they interviewed Scooby-Doo. Right, okay. Hey Scooby, how are you? Okay. Well, this is interesting seeing as Scooby-Doo can't really talk. What have you been up to on your summer break? Does he go to school? Why would he have a summer break? I suppose they were like teenagers, weren't they? So they probably did go to school. But he never went to school. He was a dog. Sleeping, eating, then more sleeping and eating. Again, he's quite articulate there, admittedly. Okay, so what is this? How to draw C-3PO. Then how to draw this weird Martian. Oh, here we go. Okay, so these are those old adverts that used to be so prevalent in all these old magazines. Where it was always like, I think these got banned for being illegal because you'd sign up to these to get like a wallpaper or a ringtone, and then they'd sign you up to like £5 a month, and then you would just be stuck paying £5 a month. Yeah, look. All items cost £3 each. Maybe this isn't that. Maybe this is people just paying £3 for a picture of Garfield or 50 Cent or Gonzo. Yeah, so I remember back when Crazy Frog and that little bird was about, these were so popular. So yeah, you can get like just ringtones. Again, where did ringtones go? All people have is just the same noise. For everyone has the same exact ringtone, or better yet, everyone has their phone on silent. Because back when people wanted to play Green Day American Idiot on their phone really loudly as their ringtone, we don't get that anymore. Yeah, so people used to Bluetooth them to each other, and there was also infrared. People would say like, infrared me that. Bluetooth was always trouble though. I remember I had Bluetooth on and then someone just sent me inappropriate stuff. No, actually, look, this is... So look, this is the one where it is, look, one SMS list sent per week. Choose one tone from a list for £1.50. So this is some kind of subscription service, which I think did get banned. Scatterbrain anatomy. So what is this? Just draw a line to match up with body parts. So again, educational. And then we got, what? A spot the difference for Foster's Home. Haunted house with Powerpuff Girls. Stuff you can win. If you're horrible, you can win this copy of Tooth on DVD. An old DVD player, Sega Superstars. Crash to Insanity. Now that's a good prize. Power Rangers, Dino Thunder, Marble Racers. We don't have marble runs anymore, do we? Ed, Ed, and Eddie. So which Ed would I be? So when I leave school, I'm going to be a spy, an inventor, a movie star. What's unemployed YouTuber? Let's go movie star. My favourite actor is Frankie Muniz or Ben Affleck. I'm going to go Frankie Muniz here. My room is totally cool or clean. Let's go cool. So, sending someone a pair of your socks is romantic or gross. Let's go gross because I'm not Jared Leto. Didn't he, like, send people like dead rats to pretend he was getting into character for the Joker? Like, what? No. Digimon. Some Digimon comics. It's pretty substantial Digimon comics. And then Skatoony. I used to love Skatoony. That was a show where it was like an animated show, but they used to get live action kids to do a quiz together. I think that was a Canadian show. What else we got? Okay, so this is the next issue, which I don't have. So this one's on sale 30th of November. This will be the Christmas issue, then I'm guessing. Yeah, we'll have the Christmas characters, Dexter and the Powerpuff Girls. And then you get this, which seems to be some kind of magnet with... So yeah, some kind of magnet dartboard. So even gifts in these magazines were quite cool as well. That is admittedly the main decision-making process I'd go through when deciding to get one of these comics. It was which one has the best toy. Oh. And then moving on, just got the puzzle answers. And then Elf on DVD and Around the World in 80 Days. And one of these is still popular to this day, and the other one is Around the World in 80 Days. Who remembers that film? No one. And then at the end, Spyro, A Hero's Tale, a game which I played this Christmas. I've got a Steam Deck for Christmas, and the first game I played on it was Spyro, A Hero's Tale. So yeah, it's a pretty good game. So that was Kraze Club magazine. The magazine's actually still going to this day, which I find insane. I think it's just called Kraze now, rather than Kraze Club. But yeah, I've got about 20 more copies of these. So if you do want to see me read more of these, then let me know and I'll happily do it. Because yeah, this is just pretty nostalgic for me to just remember what kind of stuff was going on back in 2004. So yeah, thanks. I'll see you in the next video.